Saturday night, welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Let's see who's in my green room tonight, shall we? You couldn't multitask, you couldn't sit down and whoop at the same time. There was a noticeable delay there. I'm so excited. We've got the start of one of my all-time favourite TV shows in the house from 24. None other than Jack Bauer himself, Kiefer Sutherland, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Who doesn't love Kiefer? From the IT crowd and Moon Boy, as well as the smash hit Hollywood film Bridesmaids, the very funny, the very lovely Mr. Chris O'Dowd. Hello, Chris. Thanks for joining us. One of the best stand-ups, not only in the country, but also the world, the pride of Glasgow, it's Kevin Bridges. Kevin Bridges. One of the best comedians you'll ever see, and one of our finest actresses, one of our finest exports, because she's made it massive over in the States, the beautiful Emily Mortimer, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you here again. And what great music we've got for you tonight. We've got some fabulous music. 9 times Grammy Award-winning R&B superstar, Mr. John Legend himself. Performing on the show. Hey, John, looking good. He's smooth. So, before we get to that, a Mexican man has apparently spent 14 months adrift in a boat. Did you see this in the paper this week? They're saying this man, he appeared, he said he's been lost at sea, adrift in a boat. He looks too good for being lost at sea for a year. I mean, unless, you know, makes you wonder, how big was he when he set off, if that's what he's like now? A lot of people have questioned whether he's telling the truth. What sea was he adrift in? The KFC? I mean, he's a big fella. Oh, thank you. David Beckham's been in the papers again this week. Don't you love seeing David Beckham? It doesn't matter what he's talking about. I love seeing him in the papers. He's always a welcome presence. He's been talking this week about his love of Lego. All right? Now, he talked about it a couple of years ago on this show. He told me he'd made a Lego Taj Mahal, and apparently sales of that item went rocketing. This week, he said he's been working on his biggest project yet, a huge model of Tower Bridge. Okay, that's what he's building. It's got thousands of pieces. And the problem I have with Lego is you often lose the bricks, don't you, halfway through? I believe David has found the perfect place to keep them. Can I wish all our Chinese viewers a belated Happy New Year? Kong Hui Fat Choi. And welcome everyone to the Year of the Horse. That's the new Chinese year we're in now. It's a very sacred and spiritual year, the Year of the Horse. And not, as the BBC caption service called it, look at this, the year of... Look at that. How's that okay? How is that okay? Obviously, it was a spelling mistake. At least we hope it was a spelling mistake. BBC took it down very quickly. Lucky for us, someone put it on Twitter, all right? If Justin Bieber sees that, he'll be on the first plane to Beijing. Horse and whores. You do not want to get those two confused, or you'll end up catching the clippity-clap. I like that one. I'm pleased you like that too. We're proud of that here. We've actually checked. Now, we checked, because, you know, each year's a Chinese year, it's a new animal, OK, and they kind of go, they cycle them, and we checked which Chinese year all of our guests were born in. So Kiefer and John, both of them, Year of the Horse. There we go. There you go. So lucky you, this year in particular.
This is our year.
Yeah, it looks like it is. And Kevin, you are Year of the Tiger.
There we go.
Oh,
that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although tigers are endangered. They don't live long, and you're a Scottish tiger, so you're really endangered, I imagine. Chris, the Year of the Sheep. Seriously, haven't made this up. It is, you were born Year of the Sheep. You were.
I actually come from a county, it's called, there's a lot of counties in Ireland that have different, like, nicknames, like the Banner County, the Royal County, and all this. And the actual official name of our county is the Sheep Stealers.
Wow.
I don't know what purpose we're stealing them for. Don't like to think about it.
Now, Emily, we looked at yours there. Year of the Kitten.
Kitten? Really?
Well, it isn't really, no.
Oh.
We checked, and it's Year of the Pig, but he didn't say right. So, and I'm Year of the Rat, so I can't talk. I'm Year of the Rat. It's time for my first guest, ladies and gentlemen. I loved him in the IT crowd. He was brilliant in Bridesmaids. He's a very funny man, Mr. Chris O'Dowd. Here he is. Whoa, you got that. Get comfy. So, seriously, didn't make it up. Year of the sheep. Year of the sheep.
That's
your
it.
year.
Feels good, you know. I've always had a curly style to me.
What are you wearing, Chris? I'm intrigued by this.
Do you know what? I'm not 100% sure. I like to call it what was clean.
Because I've never seen what appears to be a velour tracksuit top under a smart double-breasted jacket.
You've seen it now.
Hey, congratulations on Moon Boy. What a great series.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Moon Boy. It's over on Sky One. In case you weren't aware already, comes back, starts again a week on Monday.
That's right. That's right.
Series,
yeah, the 17th. It's yeah, it's very exciting. I love the show, and it's very funny. The new series.
Also, you co-write it.
That's right. Co-write it. It's kind of about my childhood growing up with 3 sisters and whatnot.
Which is a bit worrying because some of the scenes in it, you see there's some. It's not extreme behaviour, but it's occasionally kind of unusual behaviour.
Abusive, I suppose, would be the word. And I think that's fair. I think anybody who's I'm the youngest of 5. And when that happens, there is a certain amount of abuse. Like, I had 3 older sisters and 1 lovely girls. Strong, powerful girls. And they would kind of, one of them would hold me down, and the other one would tickle me, and the other one would spit in my mouth.
Wow.
I was laughing.
Wow.
And my relationship with women hasn't really changed.
No.
I mean, now I have to pay for that stuff.
Yeah, well. This is your year, then. Well, OK. But there are some things... So when we see things happening to the young fella in it, and I guess he's partially based on you, Martin is partially based on you.
Very much.
That maybe there's a seed of truth in that. Maybe that actually happened to you in real life. Is that right?
I'd say kind of like 70% of the show is stuff that's kind of happened here and there.
What about the makeup? What about getting the makeup on? That actually happened?
Yeah, that was a thing that used to... they would do this thing, my sisters, where they would wake me up. When you're the youngest, generally you're kind of parented by your older siblings rather than...
Yeah.
So one of their jobs would be to wake me up in the morning and get me to school. And I would be woken up just 3 minutes before I needed to be at school, so I didn't have time to shower or wash or whatever. And then when I got to school, people would be laughing at me, and I would realise that during the night they had put makeup on me. And when they were being particularly cruel, they would make it really subtle. Just like some shadow on the eyes and stuff to make it look like it was a decision that I had made.
Now, you don't play Mark, of course, he's a little boy, and you play his imaginary friend.
Yeah, I play his imaginary friend, and he's kind of, I guess, me growing up.
OK. And when you were a kid, did you have an imaginary friend?
I didn't really. I mean, I talked to myself a lot, but my imagination just wasn't strong enough to facilitate an imaginary friend.
To create a whole person. Yeah.
I had a brick in my room that I had found outside that I talked to and just ran through the events of the day with, and his name was Rick. Again, not great with the imagination.
Did you name him, or did he speak to you first and say, hey, I'm Rick?
No, I named him. It was sorry, I didn't think it was a brick.
Oh, I didn't. I wondered whether, in your mind, whether he ran in the room and he was happy and you decided to keep him.
I think I probably... No, he didn't run into the... I'm going to emphasise, it was like a house brick.
I know.
Yeah.
OK.
I'm not saying that the brick talked to me.
Okay.
I'm saying that I talked essentially to a piece of cement.
Well, that's kind of sad.
It's really sad. It's not supposed to be funny. I want people to feel sympathy for me.
OK. Let's have a look at a camera. This is Moon Boy. Moon Boy, Sky One, Monday week it starts again. It's a great, very funny, very sweet. There's a lot of warmth, a lot of heart to it. You were, before we talk, like Martin, in that you were also an altar boy, weren't you?
I was an altar boy, yeah.
Were you tempted by the priesthood? Did you ever think that might be the life for you? Was there a vocation waiting for you there?
Not at all. No, I was an altar boy for maybe 3 or 4 years, and it's nice, but it's so boring. And essentially, I got asked to leave after I attempted to set someone on fire.
Another altar boy or
Another
a priest?
altar boy,
Another-
yeah. Like there's a huge part of the altar boy job is candle carrying, and the attire that altar boys wear is really dry cotton.
Quite flammable.
Very flammable.
Oh, okay.
Like it's hard to find anything more flammable, really, than what an altar boy wears, which I found out by holding it behind a friend's back and watching him go up. Like a Roman candle.
That would alleviate the boredom of being an altar boy, I imagine.
Yes, and alleviate the duty of being an altar boy, as it turned out.
I'm hoping he survived.
No, he perished.
I'm
Yeah, no, it's terrible, though.
Yeah, no, okay.
No, he was fine. He was fine. And
okay.
you know what? Who needs to look at him?
Okay.
No, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
Okay, now, you know when I think you appeared on most people's radar, really, was Roy in the IT crowd. I don't know how many IT crowd fans we have in here. I'm hoping quite a few. What an incredible series, so good. It's kind of over now. I know you've done the last one, at least for the time being. You must miss it. But when you first got that part, did you think it would catch on with you? Because it's quite niche, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, because Graham Linehan, who wrote and created the show, kind of created so many. He did, Black Books and Father Ted, and he's an amazing writer. So I kind of knew that the show, regardless of me being in it, was going to be great. But it was amazing to be part of it. Loved it.
And I noticed after about series 2, you stopped. Your character stopped saying, "Have you tried turning it off and turning it on again?"
Yeah.
Which was kind of like it was almost like a catchphrase for a while. Now I'm assuming this was a deliberate move to.
Yeah, I think because it was never meant to be a catchphrase. It was meant to be a truism, like because that was the kind of what he would. That's what IT guys just say all the time.
Well, often it works.
No, for sure, it's really effective. Yeah. Which is the frustrating thing about it. But then it started becoming a catchphrase, and that's not Graves' kind of right.
And did you get people saying it to you when you're out and about? Was that something you had to deal with?
All the time. Yeah. And also, I remember there was a time when my own laptop broke. It wasn't like even a kind of a tech thing. I think I spilled some yogurt on it, if I'm honest. And I brought it to this place on Clapham High Street where I was living. And the guy, who was like a Romanian guy, there was a moment where he realised, because he was a fan of the show, that he was going to tell me the thing. And I was going to have to just agree with him. And so he said, "Have you tried it?" I said, "What?" "You know." And we kind of left it at that. Anyway.
You're married now?
Yes, indeed.
You married the lovely documentary filmmaker.
Thank you.
You married, this is Dawn Porter, now Dawn O. Porter. She's changed
That's
her name.
right. She gave me some... Oh.
And when did you get married? When was it?
We got married like a year and a half ago, I think. Okay. August 2000, and one of the other numbers.
What was the day? You don't remember the day? Okay.
It was at the end of August. I know, it was the 25th of August, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
great.
Okay.
I'm very happy.
You got... do you mind talking about this? How was the proposal a romantic thing for you? Did you do that right? Did you enjoy it?
The proposal, kind of. I proposed on Guernsey, which is the island where Dawn's from. And I thought what I was doing was incredibly romantic. And I kind of brought her... It's a little island, and I brought her to this kind of sea harbour wall, and there was a big old building beside it, and it looked all beautiful, and I kind of... I did the thing, and I got down on one knee, and I did it all, and it was great. And then we went back to her kind of family home, and I told her uncle all about it, and where we did it, this old building. And he said, "Oh, you mean by the slaughterhouse?" And yeah, so I proposed by the slaughterhouse.
Well, but she said yes, so that didn't stand in the way.
She did, and it was so fitting.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris O'Dowd.
Thanks so much.
Don't go away, because still to come on the show, we've got Kevin Bridges, Emily Morter, Kiefer Sutherland, and the music from John Legend. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the show. Let's get my next guest right out here. Since his first gig at the age of just 17, he has quickly risen to become one of Britain's most popular stand-up comedians. Here he is. Please welcome the fabulous Kevin Bridges. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
OK, I'm going to start by apologising. For some reason, the minute you walked out, I was thinking of saying to you, Kevin Ochai the New. As a kind of, why would I do that?
Every time. This is my third time on the show, and I think we've done every single Scottish stereotype.
Yeah.
That's what happens in Scotland. We wake up, we deep fry something, put our kilt on, spend the whole day hating the English, and then we inject some heroin, and then we die.
So every day's Groundhog Day. Well, is that why there's the move to step away from the rest of the United Kingdom? You've got the vote coming up for that.
The vote is this year.
OK. So would you vote for independence? Would you prefer to be independent, or do you see the benefits of being part of this happy family?
I just think there's something exciting about Scotland being this foreign country. You know, we could really go for it, get our own plug sockets and...
Yeah. What sort of sockets would you recommend?
A big six-pronger, a big ugly Scottish plug that doubles as a weapon. And anybody that's got any worries about the economy, how it would survive, we just sell plug sockets at the airports, at the arrivals gate. Yeah. Everybody, you need to buy your Scottish plug socket, mate.
That's a good plan.
So, I don't know, I think it would be a good laugh. I would like to see it with maybe a built-in 4-year return clause.
Yes.
That if we make a total arse of it, we're your problem again.
Well...
we can come back on sorry about that wee revolution we had
We'd
there.
welcome you back. But the
Andy Murray, he's yours, we get it.
OK, so what do you do at the moment? You're not actually, as I understand it, you're about to start working here, but you're taking sort of a year off. I know you're doing something, you're sort of on a gap year.
I don't know if I would call it a gap year. That sort of implies spending daddy's money going yak wanking in the Himalayas. I've been sort of... around the applause... I like a crowd that appreciates bestiality. This is much better than the BBC One show. No, I did take a bit of time off. It was my dad that said I'd finished my tour in 2012. We'd done about 150 dates, and stand-up is something I'll always see myself doing. So I think if you want to sustain it and go the whole way, like, you know, Billy Connolly turning out stuff, you need to... take a step back now and then. So it lasted about a month, and then I just get bored.
So what do you do? When you have time off, what did you do? How did you fill that time? Productively?
I just watched daytime... No, not productively. It was... I just watched a lot of daytime TV, and I was starting to think a free Parker pen just for inquiring was a good deal.
It's not a bad offer.
You know, you watch Countdown, and then you watch it again on Channel 4+1, so you can get the conundrum. Stuff like that. No, I did. I lasted a couple of weeks, and then I just thought I'm missing it. And I think you've got that fear that you don't want to take too much time away because you think everybody's going to forget. So I went back to a wee comedy club, The Stand, in Glasgow, just tried out some stuff, and I enjoyed it again. And then an offer came in to write a book about my 10 years in stand-up and starting straight from school.
So kind of an early autobiography then, really?
Pretty much. Okay. 27, about time I wrote my autobiography.
Yeah, we've been waiting. You still live in Scotland, don't you, then?
Yes.
You're moving house at the moment, aren't you?
That's why I'm here.
OK.
Just leaving my girlfriend at home to shout at plumbers, and me and you'll just shoot the shit.
And you live now next door to or opposite Frankie Boyle, is that right?
We're in the same street.
OK.
He's diagonally opposite, so it's like a sitcom, the street, so we see him. We're like Homer and Ned Flanders, that's us, we moved in. I bought a boat as well, that was quite interesting.
Okay, now,
this
so
summer.
have you always wanted a boat?
I've always been interested in the sea, and Loch Lomond's a beautiful place.
Is it a sailboat or is it an engine boat?
It's an engine boat. It's not like a big Puff Daddy kind of thing. It's like somewhere between Puff Daddies and a Lilo. It's nice.
So how many people can you get on the boat?
5.
So it's a 5-boater, a 5-seater. I don't know what
I've got a lot of big mates, though. It can fit 6, but 5. It's good. We've got the seats. We've got a beer fridge and a CD player. So that's the maritime requirements, as far as I'm... The first day we bought it, and I bought it. The first day we pulled out, it was a second-hand boat. It was... I'm not really a flash kind of guy, but I just thought, I'll have a bit of fun.
Was it an impulse purchase, or was it something you...
I done a bit of research first.
Yeah.
I said, is this a good boat, mate? And he said, "Oh, it's a cracking boat, mate." And that was it. I bought it. It was good. We looked like a bunch of scumbags that had just won the Euro Millions.
Hey, hold on a second. I've just been told that Chris O'Dowd in the green room has something he wants to speak about your boat to you.
Well, I mean, look at this may not be true, but I have a feeling that you bought a boat off my father-in-law. My father-in-law sells boats on Loch Lomond. Like Dawn's dad, that's what he does.
And was it on Loch Lomond you bought the boat?
It was on Loch Lomond. Should we just go off camera here and get details?
Well, I remember him telling me that he sold a boat to a comedian and 4 fat lads. I don't know what that means. That could have been anyone, I suppose.
I'm just happy I'm the comedian in that description. Did they say if it was a good boat?
No, he doesn't have any good boats. But
So, you know, you said you moved in to this new house, so you're in the process of moving in with Susan, your girlfriend. So this is a this is a serious relationship. Is this your first big serious relationship? Can I ask you that?
It is. I've dated her for 2 years, and then we split up for 2 years, and now we've been back for 2 years. Okay. So we've got the Ryder Cup. And that implies we're going to split up for again in 2 years. No, but we're moving in together. We're ready to. We're actually trying for a dog.
That.
I should mention that. No, but actually, I've always wanted a dog. We're getting her. We got her this week.
What kind of dog? A breed animal? Was it an expensive dog? Where did you get the dog from?
It's a Labrador that we adopted from the Dogs Trust.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
Ethical. I don't see the point in buying a newborn puppy that's done nothing.
Yeah.
What's it done? It deserves living in a nice part of Glasgow, in a nice gaff. I like to go to the Dogs Trust and go and visit them. Yeah. It's like doing a prison visit. The 2 dogs to a kennel. You've got the old dog just lying there, so you're never getting out of here. And the young dog's up. The old dog's just playing its harmonica and robbing a cup along the rails.
He's a lifer. He's in for life.
It was like the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
And I liked hearing the stories about the dogs. There's the dog we've adopted, her name's Annabelle, and she was abandoned as a newborn in Ireland somewhere. I don't know if Chris knows somebody who abandons dogs. And then she got brought over to England somewhere, and then she developed bronchitis.
Oh,
so the family that were going to adopt her just ditched her, and that's us, so she's now moving in.
And so how old is this Labrador? She's
10 months.
10 months. She's not that old. Do you have to give her medication? Because giving dogs medication can be tricky.
She's got a wee inhaler.
She's got an inhaler?
No.
I thought maybe she did.
I don't know, maybe. I'll find that out. Sorry, yeah, I found that out this week. No, I think she's medicated. She's totally fine. The bronchitis is away.
Cleared up.
Fingers crossed.
Kevin, it's always so nice having you on the show. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Because you're not got anything, you're not talking about anything to say. You just want to come and have a chat.
Just here for the love.
Oh, well, that's so lovely, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? What a great guest. And when are you back on tour? When are you going to do some more live work?
Now we can plug some shit. No. I'm back on. Hopefully, I'm going to Australia in March. And hopefully, I'll be on tour again in the UK 2015. So I'm just going to be able to combine the travelling with some gigging and stuff.
Get some new material down.
See how I got on over there.
If you haven't seen Kevin live, he's even funnier live than he's on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Mr. Kevin Bridges. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. Kevin Bridges, ladies and gentlemen. Still to come after the break, Emily Mortimer, Kiefer Sutherland, and music from the fabulous John Legend. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guest out. She's a British actress who's taken America by storm. She not only stars it, but has written her fantastic new series, Doll and Them. Here she is, the lovely Emily Mortimer. Double kiss, come and sit down. Emily Mortimer. So, Emily, I was reading up on you, of course, and you worked with Martin Scorsese not once but twice, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
OK, so he must like working with you. What's it like working with someone like him? Because he is acknowledged as one of the giants in the industry.
Oh, my God, he's also one of the sweetest people you've ever met. And his enthusiasm for what he does, for making movies, comes from his love of other people's films and his obsession with the world of cinema, and so
he
it comes
knows more
from...
about film than almost anyone else on the planet, doesn't he?
Yes, but I got to the point where I felt like he really might quite like me because he put me in two films.
So you're in Shutter Island first, yeah?
Yes.
And then in Hugo.
Yes, in Hugo. But because I'd been in 2 of them, I was feeling quite confident about my relationship with Martin Scorsese, and then I completely screwed it up. Because it was his birthday, and somebody had come round to the, you know, dressing rooms the day before and sort of given us the hint that it was Marty's birthday the next day, but I'd got distracted, and I just had a baby, and I was not thinking straight, so I didn't buy him anything. And then the next morning, Sacha Baron Cohen and Sir Ben Kingsley and all the other people in the film had brought him these incredible presents. And I was thinking, shit, I've got to come up with something. And then I had this brainwave that in my handbag, I'd bought a few days before a birthday card for my nephew. And it was a Catherine Tate, you know, dressed as the old lady, when she's that awful old lady with the sort of wee-stained knickers. And I thought, this is brilliant. This is the perfect thing, because it's sort of English and ironic, and he'll just think this is so cool. And anyway, I was walking to the set, and I showed it to Sacha in the car, and I said, I've got this for him. And I could see him slightly think, don't give that to him. But I was thinking, he's just jealous. He's threatened by this car because it's so brilliant. I was like, I've got the best thing. And then I stormed into it, and I went, Marty! I don't think I'd ever said Marty before either. Happy birthday! And I gave him a huge hug, and he said, thank you so much. And I said, here's your card. It was one of those ones that speak to you when you open it. And it goes, it's your birthday. You know, this weird woman says, it's your birthday, happy birthday, you know, have a piece of cake, go on, treat yourself. And he just, every wire in his brain just fused. And he just was so confused, poor guy. And I realised the thing about him is that he's so classy. And this birthday card just totally terrified him. And he couldn't really talk to me. He hasn't really spoken to me since.
And you're obviously you're in the acting profession. Your husband is also an actor.
He is.
Now, how does that work? Is it good, the two of you both being in the same profession, or does it make it harder?
No, it's good. I think you do. You have a sort of complicity and you understand each other. And the thing about being married to an actor is that you give each other leeway to go off and do these jobs, and sometimes they're really fun, sometimes they're not. But because one of you's doing it, and the other one has to allow them to do it, and then vice versa. But I've got terrible double standards about things like kissing girls and things. I think it's all right for me to kiss people in films. So
if you have to kiss a guy in a movie, or a girl, you'd say that's
fine.
Okay.
It's totally nothing to be threatened by.
But he's in a movie with Scarlett Johansson saying
and I hate it, and I give him absolute hell about it, and just hate the whole thing.
How do you give him hell? What, you actually say to him, I hate you doing this, or do you just, you're colder to him?
No, I tell you what I do. I do these weird hypotheticals on him that he's learned to just lie.
Oh, man.
Well, he's learned to just lie so obviously.
That's the worst thing in the world if your wife says, what if this happened?
Yeah.
And you know there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, so this is my what if, is I'll say to him, OK, so imagine you've been on a set for many, many weeks with a very beautiful, much younger girl playing your girlfriend, and I've been a bitch for 3 months. I've been horrible. Every time you've answered the phone to me, I've just done nothing but belittle you and moan at you and cry. And this girl really thinks you're wonderful. And you're walking home one night from a cast dinner, and she turns to you and she says, Alessandro, I'm so attracted to you, and I just think you're the most incredibly talented person and so handsome. And all I'd like is one kiss. And I promise it will rest here. You never need to know anything more about it. And my question to him is this: would you be at all conflicted? And he knows to say, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't kiss her, and I wouldn't be at all conflicted as to whether or not to kiss her.
But why do you put yourself in that position?
Oh, I don't know, because I'm mad. I don't know.
Let me ask the guys in there. Let me ask you in the beginning. So Keith, of course, and Chris, both actors. When you have to kiss a woman on screen, are you comfortable with that? Is that difficult squaring that with your partner?
Why don't you start, Chris?
Well, you know what? I just said, we were just talking about it while you were talking. And I have to say, Kiefer lies. And I say nothing. I just don't, like, if I have to kiss a girl in a film, Dawn doesn't know that it's happening until she sees the film. But the best answer for me was John, who sometimes has to kiss girls in music videos and tell them what happens.
Well, I actually haven't kissed one since I've been with my wife, who used to be my girlfriend. I haven't kissed any since. But even when I have a girl in the video, she's very, very aware of it, and she wants me to describe in detail exactly how I touch them, so she knows in advance. And she knows how annoying it is for me to actually describe it to her, each scene, but that's part of my punishment for having another girl.
So the fact that so you feel uncomfortable, or you just know that she's going to be cross with you if you say, I mean, how would you describe, say I'm your wife, how would you describe to me the touching?
Oh, I described it in the most sterile possible way.
So if you were rubbing your hand on her thigh...
I would say, I touched her leg.
So use the medical term for things. You say...
Touch her femur.
Well, thank you for that, John. Let's talk about Doll and M. Now, Doll and M is Emily's new series, which you've co-written.
Yes.
Well, tell us the premise.
It's me and my best friend from childhood, Dolly Wells, a brilliant actress and comedian, and we came up with this idea, which is what would happen if you made your childhood best friend your personal assistant? And the answer is everything would go horribly wrong.
Just ask Nigella Lawson. So, but this is you get the premise immediately. It's a very funny show, but it's also it feels quite real to me. And this obviously isn't what your relationship's like.
No, but it's what our friendship... I think what we knew we had was the ability to be friends together on the screen in a way that felt very real. And then when you start to sort of screw everything up, it starts to... It's quite sort of... It feels quite intense, because we've set up this relationship that does seem kind of weirdly real, because it is real.
But what's lovely about it, I think, and you'll see this when you watch the show, is there's a very good reason why your character, who's sort of you, sort of you, she's an actress and called Emily, so it's sort of you. She offers her the job because, I'm not giving too much away here, I don't think, because her friend has gone through a terrible breakup and is in pieces, so she says, well, come and fly out with me, come and be with me, and then, well, you want to stay, I'll give you the job. And the minute that happens, you think, oh, no, this is gonna be awful.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
OK, let's have a look. This is a clip from Doll and M. I think you're gonna like it.
Oh. What a beautiful view.
Yeah, it is a lovely view. Has anyone ever told you you look just like Jane Birkin?
Wow. God, no, I've had Amanda Plummer and the Fisher King. That's about it.
Diane, the costume lady, thinks I'm the same age as her. I don't know, 58, 59.
That's ridiculous. What are you like, 27, 28?
No, don't be upset.
No, she's 40.
Sorry, that's a horrible moment when she doesn't mean to. She's not trying to pull the rug out for you. She's just kind of. But there is a weird tension between the two, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a bit of a tension convention because we both quite fancy the guy in the hot tub.
Hey, it's been lovely having you here. And really, Doll and M, I love it. It's on Sky Living, 18th of February, 10 p.m. It's great fun, and I applaud you and Dolly for writing it, because I think it's a really lovely piece of work.
Thank
Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Emily Mortimer. That was lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Emily. After the break, Kiefer Sutherland will be telling us all about the new series of 24, and we have live music from the fantastic John Legend. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everyone. OK, I'm excited. Like many of you, I'm sure, I fell in love with the series 24 when it first appeared on our screens way back when. There was talk a few years back about a movie, but now I think it's even better news, because they're not doing the movie just yet. They're doing a whole new series. It's set right here in London. They're filming it right now. To tell us more, please welcome Mr. Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland. Wow. Great to have you back, Kiefer.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. How exciting is it? There's going to be another 24. I think it's going to be on our screens in May. That's the plan, isn't it?
We go to air in May, and we'll do England and the US almost at the same time.
Almost at the same time. And you're shooting here in London. This is the first time, obviously, 24's been out of the States.
Yeah.
For the whole thing. How are you finding it? Because this is not the nicest weather we've had for this time of year. Even.
We've managed to negotiate the weather. The thing that we're most worried about is snow, which I think we're coming into the months for that.
Now, what's going on there? What's that you're wearing there? That's
I have a lot of... I had some wardrobe on, and it's the only jacket that I could fit over it because it was freezing cold.
Yeah, it's not been great. But are you enjoying it? I guess you can't tell us much about the story, I'm sure.
No, I can't tell you anything about the story. Well, there's some things. I mean, we're not reinventing the show. So Jack is going to have a bad day. And
it'd be terrible if they did the only time they shot in London. He has a really nice day.
A really
dull series.
And we're doing 12 episodes this year instead of 24. And so the 12 episodes will still represent a 24-hour day. But we will, and the episodes will be in real time like the show was. But if Jack needs to catch a plane to France or to Germany, we can absorb that in the hours.
The clock will move.
Yes, the clock will move
But that
forward.
presumably that will make it a bit easier to write, I would have thought, because you haven't got to fill the time with.
I think in the first few seasons there were times where they did try to get me to travel. And there were very slow episodes when he was on a flight all the way down to Costa Rica. Yeah. It was like 12 episodes of eating peanuts. And so we ended up having to crash the plane to try and make it a little more exciting. So this makes it a lot easier for the writers.
So I guess this picks up, does this pick up exactly where the last series left off?
No, it's 4 years later. And at the very end of season 8, Jack Bauer was branded a criminal. Okay,
we don't do any spoilers in case people haven't seen the end of it, but he was branded a criminal.
Yeah. Branded a criminal by the U.S. government. He is given a 20-minute window to try and disappear by the president at the end of season 8, and he manages to do so. He makes it all the way to Eastern Europe, where he has been hiding for 4 years. Something is going to happen in London that he figures out, and he surfaces again in London.
You know, I can't wait. And we obviously have no clip from the show, but this was the big trailer, the exciting trailer they showed at the Super Bowl last Sunday. Yeah. And this is already, I can't wait. Look at this. Looks great.
Bless your heart. That was the first day we shot in London.
Yeah.
And
I think I can tell from that why he's angry. It's the tube strike.
Well, yes.
Okay, I love seeing you as Jack Bauer, but I've loved seeing you in so many movies over the years. And I was thinking about this interview, think about some of the early films. And you go way back. When you think about the movies Keith has been in, you think about Young Guns, you think about Lost Boys, you think about Stand By Me, which is one of the greatest movies from that decade, I think.
Thank you.
When you look back at that period, how do you feel about your performance in those films? What do you think about that early work?
Well, in all fairness, I don't watch the films I've made. I think the last one I watched was Stand By Me. I had a girlfriend, and we went to the cast and crew screening, and I had a very specific idea of what I wanted to do with the character.
So this was when it first came out?
Before it came out.
So you don't watch them back, you haven't... If they're on TV, do you channel hop away?
I haven't watched an episode of 24, no.
Really?
No, but I know how it goes. I mean, I have read the script, so,
yeah, there's no surprises for you.
But no, I was standing there, and we watched the movie, and everything that I had thought I wanted to do, I hadn't done. All I saw was myself up there, and I was mortified, and my girlfriend was saying, no, I thought it was really great. I was like, don't patronize me, you know. I need to get another job. If I don't get another job and this comes out, I'm dead. My career's over, da-da-da. And it was really lucky for me because there was another film that I didn't want to do that I took because of that, which was Lost Boys. And thank you very much.
Another one of the best from that decade.
So clearly I am not the person to watch my own work.
I must admit, though, seeing that image there, I can see why you might not want to watch that one. But that's not a fair example of the movie. Look at that. That's a terrible bunch of haircuts. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Did you guys
They
think...
were very cool at the time.
I was going to say, did you think... Were you pleased with that look, all of you guys?
Oh, my God, I thought I was awesome. Yeah. and I managed to maintain that by not seeing the movie.
Yeah. Well, no, the movie's great. You should see that one.
No, it's a personal thing. And I do see parts of every film when I do the ADR, when I do post-production. But for me, it's just always served me better as an actor to let other people tell me what they thought of it than for me to kind of rip it apart, which is what I would naturally do.
And so not to watch and scrutinise the performance in that way and criticise yourself.
The performance is more organic to me. It's not something I did this thing in a film a couple of years ago that I liked the way that looked, and that would be awful for me. So I try not to do that.
But you, would you go back to do one of those early films? They want you to do a sequel. Like, we have people making movies where they often revisit characters from 20 years ago.
I'd go back to do my 30s.
Would you? Well, would you? What if they wanted you to do, instead of Young Guns, Old Guns, or the Lost Boys, the even more Lost Men? I mean,
Young Guns was an interesting one because Young Guns was one of those films that we were just too young to know how lucky we were to do it. Yeah. As an actor, you dream of doing a Western. Certainly, if you spend a lot of time in America, and they don't make them, so this was an unbelievable opportunity. And by the time we did the sequel, I was kind of against doing sequels, so I made sure I got killed in that sequel. I probably deeply regret that.
Is that when you fell in love with the kind of the cowboy skills? Because I know for a while, weren't you involved in rodeo for a while?
I was. I rodeoed professionally for about 10 years.
And this was not early in your career. This was you
Later,
sort of walked
yeah.
away from the movies.
Yeah.
So why did you leave the movies to go into that? Were you disenchanted?
Couldn't get a job. It was, you know, I've been working for a long time. And there are ups and downs in someone's career, and the work that I was being asked to do was not something that I was interested in doing. And I realized if I didn't kind of stop doing a film or films that were not going to be great, then I'd never get to do it again. And so I had other things that interested me, and I was raising quarter horses in Montana for a while. And I got in with a bunch of cowboys, and I had a natural affinity for roping, and so I started competing in it. And it was a great experience. These cowboys were a lot tougher than I had ever imagined. I was doing a roping in just a small town outside of Albuquerque in Belen, New Mexico. And this father and son were there, and the father was quite old. And he had roped this cow, and there's a thing called a dally. So you rope the cow, you pull out the slack, and you take the rope around the saddle horn, and then you turn the horse. And all of this takes place in about 3 seconds. So you want to keep your thumb up. But a lot of times, in the excitement of all of it, you get your hand down. And if the rope gets around your thumb, when it hits the end of the 600-pound cow, the thumb's gone. Wow. And so this cowboy did that, and half his thumb was hanging off. And his son didn't see that right away. And he turned around, and by the time he turned around, the dad had pulled out a knife, lopped off the rest of the thumb, and threw it at the dog in the corner of the arena. And the son said, "Dad, are you crazy? Doctors can fix that now." Jumps off the horse and chases the dog for about 10 minutes trying to get the thumb back, and was unsuccessful. But, you know, I certainly don't think I could do that.
No.
And but I'll never forget that story.
I am not surprised you won't forget that story. Now, I didn't realise, I know you'd been in a couple of movies with your father, with the great Donald Sutherland.
I have not, actually.
I thought you'd not actually done scenes with, but
no, I
been
did
in movies.
one film, A Time to Kill, and we didn't even see each other over the course of making that film. So it was.
So you're in the same movie, but you never had a scene together.
Never.
But
no.
That's about to change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us about this film. You've already filmed this, or
we made a film in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. It is a Western, and it's the first time we've been able to work together. And something that I've been looking forward to and nervous about for 25 years. And been working on the script for a few years, and finally everybody was free, and we got to make it, and ended up being one of the great experiences of my career.
It must have been the first few days, I imagine. The first few scenes must have been pretty daunting.
I called him the night before we started. And I said, "Look, I just want to tell you how excited I am, and you know, if I'm quiet, I'm a little nervous." And he went, "Oh my God, thank God, you're nervous too." and then he was really effusive about that, and then we started to laugh, and it really broke the ice for us. And I think we made a film that we're both going to be very, very proud of, and hopefully that'll come out around the fall. And yeah, but it was a phenomenal experience.
It's called The Forsaken, I believe. So I'm looking for.
It's called The Forsaken now, and that can change. Yeah.
Here's the exciting thing as well. There's another movie with Kiefer coming out soon. I'm just checking the date. 2nd of May, I believe, is out of this country, called Pompeii.
Yes.
Which I'd heard about because I know the guys who work on the Game of Thrones, and Kit Harington,
yeah,
who is Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. He's the young kind of slave turned gladiator, I believe, in this. And you're just are you a bad guy?
I'm a nasty piece of work. Yeah.
Okay, tell us about Pompeii. So it's set at the time of.
Well, it's one of the. There's a few reasons why I love making the movie. First of all, anytime you get to do this kind of a film with the scope of this, I mean, it's a stunning looking film, period piece. Love a skirt and a bit of armor, you know.
So have you done the skirt and armor before?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, how did you find
Saturday Night Live, maybe, but no, not for real.
Was it liberating to work in a skirt?
Yes. During the summer?
Yeah. You wouldn't want to be shooting 24 in a skirt like that.
No.
Okay, it's quite a bold. I've seen a clip. I'm going to show you a clip. It's quite a bold choice you've made in the way your character speaks.
He's different.
Yeah. Okay.
He's different.
Okay. Here we go. Have a look at this. This is Pompeii, 2nd of May. Look at this.
Senator, please. This slave saved my life. He does not deserve this.
If I were to spare the life of this slave, what would it be worth to you?
Senator?
I believe you understand the question, my dear.
I would be grateful for your mercy.
This is your lucky day, slave. The Lady Cassia has saved your life. Who owns this slave?
I do, Senator.
Then I suggest you punish it and then remove it. 15 lashes should suffice. After all, mercy is a virtue.
Give him the lash.
Makes you want to hit him right away.
He's a bad guy. So he's got a slight lisp, It's a bit of a Sean Connery going on there.
Well, it's actually is what I would term as kind of a middle.
Kill Bill star Uma Thurman will be joining us as well. But now, performing All of Me, it's the fabulous John Legend.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. You got my head spinning, no kidding. I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Oh, cards on the table, we're both showing hearts, risking it all, though it's hard. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause I give you all
What a legend, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, as the Winter Games get underway, Torvill and Dean celebrate 30 years since winning gold, so we're heading back to 1984 live tomorrow on Dancing on Ice at 6:15, and Something's Ruffled the Feathers of Mr Selfridge tomorrow night at 9. Next this Saturday evening, though, the latest ITV News is on the way.